Afternoon, everybody. I don't know when you're going to be watching this, but we're videoing this on a Tuesday afternoon. It's thundering outside. So if you hear bass noise, it's not me, it's God speaking outside the door there. By the way, this update's not coming from my garden. As you can see, it's coming from my desk here at the office. We have come back to work. We're wearing masks when we leave our office. We're paying attention to social distancing, but we're back at work. Let me give you a couple of things here that I think are important, that I think you'll find important also. Talk about finances for just a moment. We haven't done that in any of these updates, but our giving has really not decreased over the COVID-19 quarantine, which is just remarkable to me and great. And kudos to you all for your continued great giving. We've been able to pay salaries and we've been able to pay our other obligations during the quarantine, and that's been good, and I appreciate you all being mindful of that. I guess you're paying attention to the e-news as they come out, because that's where you would find this information. You need to know that our finance team, our treasurer, our administrator here, Mike Northern, are all monitoring our giving and our expenses weekly. They're meeting weekly and they're paying very close attention to this. So recognize if you have any questions, there are answers to be had if you'll just email those in. I want to ask you to be conscious of keeping it up. Let's keep this up. Let's keep our giving up. However you're doing that, through the boxes there at the doors, or whether you're mailing it in or you're giving online like Linda and I do, just keep it up. We want to be able to maintain our finances through what's going to be, I'm sure, a difficult summer for all churches, difficult for us also. But make it through this difficult summer that's ahead of us and make it into the autumn. By then, I look forward to that, because we'll be on much better footing by then. We'll know what's going on by then. Right now, I was talking to a pastor friend a moment ago. He said that we're building the plane as we're flying it. That's pretty descriptive of what's going on right now with all of us. So keep up the giving, and praise God for all of you all, and thank God for all that's going on there with our giving. As far as our first day back together, the 24th is still looking like a good day for us. And of course, again, this is all just up in the air for all of us. I have a pastor friend who, he and his church, they were going to get back on the 17th. And I was admiring him for being so organized as to get back on the 17th. But then I read an email of his a few days ago that said, no, 17th's off. We're postponing it until a date to be announced later on. So that's what's happening on that front. I was just talking to another pastor, prominent church in the Austin area. They're going to try to get back together on the 31st. So kudos to them. One of the things I mentioned in my garden update last week is I'm not interested in being a pioneer in this. I have no desire to be on the cutting edge. I'd much rather other churches and other pastors take the lead, and for us they would be what I'm calling coal miner canaries, and see what happens with them. If that goes well with them, then we'll copy them also. Technology's for us still a big factor. Churches who have been broadcasting their services, this has not been a big step for them going with the live streaming. But for us, we've not been broadcasting on television. For us, this is a pretty big step. But the tech team is all over this. They're doing a great job. They still feel like at this point, they still feel like we can be ready to do live streaming on the 24th. So I'm following their lead. This is what they think. I got to tell you, I believe this is the future. I think the future for us is going to be in live streaming. We're reaching way more people than we ever thought we would through live streaming. So this needs to be a product for us. We need to think about this production as we move into the future. The tech team is doing a great job getting ready for the 24th, and also getting ready for doing an upgraded job after that. So thank you. One of you all asked, isn't this just a matter of getting more microphones? Oh, No. There's so much more involved in this production than that. Right now, back in our media booth on Sunday morning, we have a camera operator, we have a media manager, we have a sound technician taking care of all the microphones, we have a man back there just doing lighting, taking care of the lighting, and then there's the words and the graphics that are going up on the screen, and that's right now. That's just on campus. When we go to live streaming, those needs are going to increase almost twofold. So there's just so much more involved. And again, kudos to our tech team and all that we're doing. So 24th is still a good date. At this point, that still looks like a good date. We're going to be communicating more with you as that date approaches. Far too much details to get into here in this update. Just letting you know the 24th is still a good date. Today, I did the second funeral that I've done since the coronavirus quarantine began. The first one was right on the first week of the quarantine. And then did a funeral today for another man. And I'll tell you what, the reason I'm sharing this with you. Both these men have been good friends. Both these men have been good followers of Christ. As I've done the memorial service, I've been able to share testimony about these men and the good work they've done. I don't know whether you realize it or not, but in the kings that followed David and Solomon, just kind of walking down that list, as you can follow it in 2 Kings or 2 Chronicles or any of those books that kind of chronicle the kings, almost all of them, it said he did what was evil in the sight of the Lord, or he did not do what was right in the sight of the Lord. The differences there, one of them was King Hezekiah, and then his distant descendant, King Josiah. They did what was right in the sight of the Lord. I've often thought to myself, that'd be a great thing to have carved in your tombstone. That'd be a great epitaph. He did what was right in the sight of the Lord. Well, with both these men for whom I've done memorial services, they did what was right in the sight of the Lord. Last week I talked about a good thing that could come out of this quarantine. Last week we talked about learning how to rest. I want to say to you, another good thing that could come out of this quarantine would be able to hit our reset button, our recommitment button, and start thinking about doing what was right in the sight of the Lord. As we're coming out of this quarantine, as we're kind of coming out from underneath our shelter-in-place places, as we're getting back into the routine of daily life, let me just suggest to you, let's take advantage of this opportunity and hit our reset buttons and commit ourselves to doing what's right in the sight of the Lord. Let's set some good epitaphs. Well, it's good to be back. It's good to be back at work. I'm looking forward to the 24th. I hope you are too. I don't know whether you're back at work in your vocation, your occupation. I know a lot of industries are just going to continue doing work at home. There are a lot of things going on outside church. I know you're involved in all of those. But for those of you who are excited about the 24th, I'm excited seeing you also. We're going to be honoring the Lord in everything we do. God love you guys. God bless you guys. I'll see you on the 24th, I hope. See you then.